Hey guys, I'm Sanaya.
I'm Brianna.
And welcome back to another episode of Planet
Planet
13,
13,
a safe and judgment-free planet. Today we have special guest, Karina.
Hello.
In the house. Dance
Welcome.
teacher, dance competition judge, dance choreographer, and many, many more. We are grateful to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I want my audience to get to know you a little bit more. So we're going to start all the way from the beginning. When did you start dancing? Like, what age?
So I started dancing when I moved to Florida. I was born and raised in New York, and I lived in the projects in the Bronx. And I remember my mom telling me that I always asked her for dance classes. Like, I wanted to be put into dance because she used to always show me videos of like dancing and all that stuff. And I remember she said she went to the New York City Ballet and saw how much money they were charging. And she's like, girl, we live in the projects. Like, I cannot afford any of that. So when I moved to Florida, she thought that the whole me begging for dance was going to go away. And then I kept asking like, so now that we live in Florida, like, can I go into dance classes? And then she put me into my first dance classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So around what age was that?
I believe that was like 9.
9. Okay.
Probably 9. Yeah.
Pretty young.
8, 9 maybe.
Okay, so you started dancing at the age of 9. When did you think, like, this is what I want to be my professional career? Like, what age was this like?
So what people don't know is I've always been like obsessed with it. Got into the competition team at 10, started traveling, started competing. And it happened when I think I was in middle school. Usually by middle school, teachers start asking you, like, what do you want to do?
Right.
You need to know what you need to do before
Middle
you get
school?
into high school. Oh, yeah. Like they're basically making it seem like if you go to high school not knowing what you want to do.
You're like a failure, yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. So I remember anytime someone asked that, I was like, dance. Like,
Right.
I can't do something with dance. But then everyone always told me, like, you can't have a career off, like, a sport, like, off of dance, especially back then.
Right.
Now, forget about it. The
Yeah.
support now for, like, the arts is so much better.
sure.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
But, like, back then, everyone was like, okay, cool, but you need to get, like, an actual
Yeah,
career.
like doctor,
Yeah.
lawyer.
Literally that. So I got into high school, and then it was like I would try to always think about different things that I would be interested in, but always revert it back to
I
dance.
feel like that's me right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to do something with dance. And as far as dance, like everything that dance can offer, because what people don't know is there's like, dance is broad. You could do so
Yes.
many different jobs with dance,
dance,
with the
yeah.
arts in general.
So you started at 9. What age did you start your first, like, competition team? Like, when did that happen? And, like, what were your thoughts on it? Like, starting a team on your own? Like,
So how it first started was I was a TA at my like childhood dance studio, and I started teaching the younger kids when I was like 14. So then when I started teaching them at 14 and started like working on their competition pieces, I know that I always said, oh my God, I want to be able to do this. So I was teaching at a dance studio, and they didn't really have like a technical department. So I was like, and I noticed that so many students would leave the studio to other studios that were offering technique, because the studio where I was at the time when I was older was more like hip hop based. So then I was like, why don't you like have technical classes? Like, are you serious? Like, I see potential students that are leaving. We should and have like some type of technical thing going on. And then the person was like, yeah, go for it. So I did it just to see like
where it would take you? Like,
how it would take me. I did not expect it to take me where it would be a career, because I was still going to college. I was working at River Glades Elementary as a children's service counsel, and then I was teaching on the side for like extra money to still have like that tie with dance, because I did not want to let go of dance. And then I started my team. I think I was maybe 18, 19 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like around that age. I did like 2-3 solos, one big group, saw that it did amazing on stage, and I was like, wait a minute, like I'm good at this? Like I can actually do this?
No,
and then it went from there.
Okay, so you started on dance team around 18, 19. When did you open up your own dance studio? When did you decide to branch off and do it on your own?
I opened up my own dance studio at 22.
22.
So I was 22 years old. I would say that the studio, that opportunity like fell in my lap. It's not something that I planned to do that early.
Right.
I remember me wanting to leave the studio that I was working at, and I was going to be a director or like another competition director at a different studio because I got some offers to work for other studios. And then I was also touring at that time. So I'm touring, then teaching, then leaving, then teaching. And I remember that I had a dance parent that was like, what's going to happen to all of the girls?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? We're just going to like separate. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't want that. And they're like, this is your opportunity to try to like start your own thing. And I was like, me?
Yeah.
No way. I was like, I cannot do that. I was like, I would like to in the future, but I'm like, I'm 22. Like, I still want to tour. I still want to like do so much more with my life.
Yeah.
And I know that once you open up a business, like that has to be your focus. You
Yeah.
have to put so much time and energy to it. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, fuck it, let's do it. What people don't know is the first time I did open up the studio, I only signed a 1-year lease. So nobody knew
So you
that.
just wanted to see.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're really testing the waters.
Yes, none of the parents knew. Nobody knew. I did not make it public. I wasn't like opening up a studio. So I'm like, dude, I'm 22. Like, this is the first thing.
Yeah, so you're just
first
like
big
soft
thing.
opening a little bit.
Right. And then I'm like, and if it fails, then nobody will find out.
Yeah, nobody would know.
That's why you gotta hide your cards sometimes.
They
but
wouldn't
yeah.
know. And then after that first season, I was like, wait, I'm getting people like saying, I want you to teach me. I want this, I want that. And I'm like, wait a minute, so I could like do this? And after that first year, once I saw the outcome and people coming, that's when I decided to like sign the 3-year lease after.
Okay.
And then it went from there.
At that point, were you like so you were the owner of the studio, were the only teacher there too, or did you have other like teachers helping you?
So I did have other teachers. So the great thing is I had friends that are very talented and were also in the industry. So since I had a professional career as well before I opened up a studio and during the studio, I've got to meet like a lot of dancers that were amazing choreographers and that were also in the industry. So those are the people that I hit up to like teach my students, because I always wanted my students to be able to get taught by people that were known like in the industry that know how to get dancers up to that level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of studios teach you like your basic lyrical ballet, tap, jazz, but then they don't teach you how about auditions, how to get an
Yes.
agent, how to get on tour, do music videos. They don't teach you about that because I never got taught that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that all my staff members were people that were from the industry that knew about that world.
Yeah. You were definitely one of my most toughest teachers, which is a good thing. Like, I still remember the first time I took your class when I was like 12, 13, and I literally remember crying on my first day.
Oh my gosh.
But it wasn't really you. I think it was the stretching. Like, I was crying on
Oh,
my
the
first day.
stretching.
Yeah. And I remember going home telling my mom, like, I never want to go back. But just look at it now, because my mom was like, no, you're going to go back. Just because you were crying, and I know she's a tough teacher, and I know you're going to learn, I'm
That's what
taking
you
you back.
need.
Yeah. I'm sending you back. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of parents that say that to me, that their first day is like,
Yeah.
oh my God, the kid is crying. But what I noticed, the ones that usually do get emotional like that are the ones that come from other studios where the studios kind of like baby them.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because like the students that are now with me from like scratch, they cry like maybe 3, 4, by 5, 6 years old, you could already see they're like, and then by 7, they're like rocks.
Yeah.
They're like,
no, yeah.
I'm good. But then the
Right.
ones that it's a big transition. The people that come to my studio 10, 11, 12, 13, they look at me like,
Yeah, like they're not used to that.
what
yeah.
the actual fuck is that?
Oh
like,
my God.
oh my goodness.
But that's what we need. We need more honest dance teachers that are going to push
Right.
you, because
Especially when a teacher sees a talent. Like
Yeah.
your talent, the first time I saw, I'm like, this girl right here.
and it's crazy because I remember when I used to feel like I mean I did suck at a point, but the fact that like you still call me one of your favorites and I was like terrible, I was like, she saw potential in me.
Yes,
saw
it
the
was there.
potential.
I think it was more like the confidence, because people don't realize like the talent could be there, but if you really don't believe in yourself, like you're not gonna flourish. It's not gonna come out, because you have some dancers out there that had the confidence, and I was like, I know people that could rip you on any given day.
Yeah.
But
Their
because
confidence,
yes,
they can convince everybody.
And
that's what it is.
I definitely gained a lot of confidence through dance because I was like, I was scared to go on stage by myself. I didn't do a solo for 3 years. Like, and it was my senior year when I was like, okay, this is my last year ever going to be on stage. Like, I'm going to take that chance and I'm going to challenge myself and do a solo. But yeah, it definitely like gave me confidence because I'm still a little stage fright.
But look at you now.
I think what kind of made you nervous about the whole solo thing, I blame studios that believe in we're going to put kids in the advanced division from like young. And I always tell people, so when you're in kindergarten, you go to trigonometry. Yeah, that makes sense. You take in AP Cal.
You got to start from somewhere.
Yeah, so then that's like when you're throwing dancers into the advanced division with people that have been dancing longer than you, and then you see, oh my God, I'm not winning, I'm not doing good. You could get discouraged. Then you're like, what's the point? Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
definitely. And it does get really competitive when it comes to like friendships. Or when it comes to, it could get really competitive when it comes to dance. Yeah, like that's definitely creates. It's definitely. You definitely create like a family empire, like relationships with the dance studio, but there definitely is like those competition, like competitive friends that like kind of make it a little bit more.
There could be friendly competition, and then
there could be like
there's just some toxic.
There's toxic competition, there's friendly competition.
Yes, there's
just
both.
Like differentiating. Okay, so I want to touch on the competitive side when it comes to dance, because it did become competitive where it's like when someone would beat me, it would just be like, oh, I won, or I got this and you didn't get this. Yeah.
Actually, like full on saying that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about like somebody gone up to her before and be like, oh, that's the adjudication that you got?
Yeah.
For people that don't know what adjudication is basically like your score. Like if you got a gold, high gold, platinum, or elite, you want to get elite if you're in the advanced division, platinum if you're in intermediate. If you got a high gold and gold, chances are you didn't place very well.
Yeah. When it comes to dance, everyone thinks it's like butterflies and rainbows, but there is that side of dance where it is really competitive. And a lot of people don't even call dance a sport, but I believe dance is a sport. Like, yeah.
That conversation.
That conversation gets me mad every time.
Literally.
Because maybe what you do is not a sport. Maybe you just, take classes here and there. But if you're doing like competitive dancing and training like over 40 hours a week, and it is a lot. So did you experience any drama when it came to other dance studios or other dance teachers in the competition world?
All the time.
And how do you deal with that?
So part of me, I remember there was one time where I was like, I think I like broke down and said, I'm sick and tired of being professional because
I remember that. I forgot about that.
I'm sick and tired of being professional because when I did start my competition team and I had my studio and all that stuff, and we were winning a lot, I was younger than everyone else. Like I'm my studio, I'm 22, 23 years old, going against people that have had their studio for 20 years. Like there's people that I will look at the studio's like opened in 19 and I'm like, wait, that studio's older than me, or the studio's my age, like stuff like that. So I've had, I think you were there when I had basically almost got assaulted on stage.
No, yeah.
There was a whole competition. I will share that where my dancers got, I think it was like a choreography award. So when you get a choreography award, they ask for the choreographers to go on stage. And I'm on stage and I got a choreography award. Yeah, awesome. And this woman that we'll touch base on what she did to Sanaya, because she did something to Sanaya.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the whole story. Let's just talk about it. Okay, so
how everything started.
Yes, how everything started. So I had a quick change. If you know what a quick change is, it's like I had one dance. I had to get off stage. I probably had like three dances until my next dance. So I had to go backstage and change real quick. As I'm changing, like we're in the back room, I'm changing, and then I just hear one lady like underneath her breath, but she's talking loud. She's like, why are they in here? She's taking up all the space. Why is she in here? Da-da-da. And I was like, Karina, I don't think they want us in here. And she was like, who?
Oh my God.
She was like, who? And then the lady just starts going off. She just starts yelling like, and then I
just remember like, to go into a little bit more detail, when our dressing room was far away from the stage and Sanaya had 3 numbers. It was going to be impossible to run, because we were at BC, to run all the way to like their classrooms, run all the way back with your costume, hair change, and all that stuff. Because I'm one of those choreographers that like having hair changes, makeup changes. Other studios keep one bun for everything and that's it. So she goes backstage, this studio, because they were big and had a lot of routines, They're backstage. Their dress room is backstage. So I'm like, Sanaya, just go in there, like, change real quick. And I remember seeing Sanaya literally walk out holding her boobs in like panties and saying, this woman just like basically kicked me out of her dressing room. And I flipped. I'm like, yo, she got 3 numbers to change. Like, you're really going to be that disrespectful and not allow her to just use a corner of the room?
I wasn't even taking up space. Like, I promise you I was in the corner, like,
Sanaya, taking up space, you're this big. What space were you taking?
It was just giving hater energy.
Right. So she, I guess the owner found out and she got upset. So that award ceremony, one of my routines, get a choreography award. I get up, I have the plaque. Then she gets a choreography award. She walks by me, flips her hair in my face. And I was like, and I'm like this. She's literally standing next to me, turned around and starts mouthing stuff. I'm talking about like this is on stage in front of everybody. Everyone is seeing it. She's mouthing stuff in my ear. And I see that my boyfriend on the time, which is not my fiance, in the crowd, and he stands up and he goes, y'all better get Karina. Y'all better get Karina because when she goes backstage, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to get ugly. Y'all better get Karina. I see all the parents get up. The parents literally like monkeys.
No, literally, my mom just teleported. Like, I was like...
She's like...
like monkeys, like Planet of the... Going on the stage. The competition got stopped for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Police
we almost
got called.
We almost got disqualified.
Police got called.
But she was mouthing at you.
We go backstage. I go to the security guard. Let me not say that. The rent-a-cop.
Rent-a-cop.
He was like this. And I said, I tapped and I said, I'm going to let you know right now, it's about to go down. So I took off my earrings and I don't know, man, I blacked out. I just know that like I had a parent hold me back. I had a parent put their hand on my throat to not let me fight. I had your mom chasing after.
Literally, my mom was going off. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Yeah. No. So and then she was walking around with security for the rest of the competition.
Yeah, saying that she felt threatened for her life.
Girl, she was the one who started it.
Right.
But that's giving dance moms. Like that's the stuff that we go through at dance competitions. I feel like that's people don't even really think.
Yeah, it's weird that people say. I always hear people saying, "Oh, dance moms is fake." Like, I mean, I get it. Yeah. Some of the producers probably fabricated stuff, but I'm like.
No, for the most part?
For the most fake. I'm like, maybe for y'all show, but like, I'm in Florida where we compete with Miami studios and Miami parents and like what? It's all that drama is real.
I can imagine. Yeah. I always wonder why it was called Dance Moms. Like when I was younger, because I wasn't into like dancing. I was like, why is it called Dance Moms? Like, why isn't it about the girls? But now, but now I see all the drama was with the like. With the
I was the same. I watched Dance Moms. I think came out. Was I in 8th grade and then into high school, or maybe like high school when Dance Moms came out? And I watched it because I was like, oh my God, this is cool seeing dancers compete. Right? And I was always upset on like, why are they focusing so much on the parents? I want to see the dancing. Yeah. Then when I got like older, I rewatched everything. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was watching an episode like 2 days ago.
And like, it's the drama is actually very entertaining.
Yeah, for real. I'm about to make a reality show for Imperial.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
Just so y'all can really see like what behind the scenes of everything.
That would snap.
I think what I've noticed now that I'm older, because I also opened up a studio at a young age, and I'm like, if you think about it, I'm 8 years older than my older students, where now it's like, oh, I'm much older than my older students now. Yeah. So it's like they're growing up and I'm growing up as well. Like I'm sure like there was mistakes that happened and stuff like that, but now that I'm older and we're trying to get to see, like all the competitiveness definitely comes from the parents. Parents is the one that bring it. And when a parent is that like angry at you is because you are a threat. Like there is a similar situation that happened at my studio where it's like you'll be surprised the parents drive them and they swear. They're going to swear up and down. It has nothing to do with the kid or be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. You have parents out there that are jealous of children. You do. You have parents out there, or maybe you're like, damn, my kid is not that good, or this person keeps beating my kid. Like, but then you do have the dope parents. So we gotta put that in there. I don't want to say that everything is all messed up, because you do have some parents that are like amazing.
Yeah, like very helpful.
Yeah, so helpful. They don't get involved in the drama. If somebody beats their kid, they're like, congratulations, okay, make sure you work harder.
Yeah, healthy competition.
Vice versa. Yes, I have amazing parents. It's like half and half. I have a good group of like, they don't allow the drama to get involved in their relationship, and they're really close together. And then you have the other ones that you're like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I do have some great parents too, but all of that, like, you trying to fight little kids, or
talk about little kids
or stuff like that.
Because I was like 16 around that time. It's not like, you know.
Yeah.
It comes from jealousy, man. Like, I have a friend that quoted something. I don't know if she wants me to use her name, but she was like, they just mad because Sanaya is the best looking one in the group. That's exactly what it is. They're like, that's why they mad. But yeah, that's where it comes from. Like, you got to look at it now and be like, damn, like,
no, like, I didn't even know I was like that. You know?
I was that girl. I was that girl back then. I didn't even know it.
No,
like,
humble. She was humble with it.
Literally, like 15 and 16 years old. You saw that threat in me. Like, that's
just now.
Before she even saw.
Before she even knew she was a threat.
No, literally.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. But the mom posting was kind of crazy though. Like.
Yeah, man.
Like getting sneak dissed by a mom.
Oh my God, you'll be surprised.
Oh my God.
You'll be surprised. I try to definitely now, because your generation was so draining. I try to definitely like stay away from that. Like I created like a new policy at my studio. Like any parent that's coming up to me with that stuff, I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, it's important to have a life separate from the studio. And I know when you're first opening up your business and you're starting off, like everything revolves around there. But it's like, I got my own life. I got my own life. Don't be hitting up my line talking about some this dancer did girl.
After hours.
Literally, like, bye.
Oh, you know what I do want to talk about?
What?
I want to talk about how you opened up my eyes when it came to spirituality, because the meditation classes that we took, I was telling her about it. Like, my first time meditating was that class that we had with Gabe.
Yes.
And I think it's so important to have, like, that healthy part of dance where it's just, like, you just kind of turn off your mind and just, like, relax and stuff. I think that's a really good thing. I don't know if you still do that, but
I do.
You do?
I do. It's very hidden because there is a, how can I put this word? You have some choreographers and some teachers in the dance world that are like too woke. Listen, I'm woke.
Yeah.
But ignorance is also bliss. So you got people that are too woke, and then you got parents that also, like, they be kind of getting scared. Like, like I'll bring certain teachers, and then my kids are like, oh my God, Miss Karina, she is so weird. Like, she started speaking to us in different voices and shit. And I'm like,
no.
I got those type of people. So like I have that side of me where it's more like personal, and I keep it with myself, and a lot of people don't know about that because I also don't have much people in my life that are more into, like, you know, the spiritual world or stuff like that. Because I have my religion side, and then I have like my spiritual side.
Same.
And there's because religion is spiritual too. So you know, religion is spiritual. It all
kind of connects. If we really
it all connects. 100%. It all connects. I remember sharing with some parents, like, yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, I like, you know, my crystals or stuff like that. And they were like
looking at you like you're crazy.
I think you're confused. That's exactly what they told me. And I'm like, I'm never going to talk about this ever again.
Literally. Everyone just has their different options. And I want to talk about it because people think, like, when you have crystals, like, we're sitting there praying to the crystals. That's not how it works.
Right. Ain't nobody sitting here putting crystals on, like, crystals.
And, like,
crystals.
Please, crystal. Please. Like, that's not how it works. To me.
But then what's the difference between, for instance, you holding onto a crystal or you're praying with a rosary?
Yeah.
Or you're holding onto a rosary? Because I am knowledgeable in both. Like, I'm knowledgeable in the religion, the religious aspect, and then the spiritual as well. And then you're reading about both, and you're like, they're basically like the same
message.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just different.
Yeah, in different
stuff.
ways. That's literally how I look at it. And that's why, but that's just a topic that people are just very touchy about.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But it is important in dance, because especially with this generation now of everybody having, there's people at 4 years old that have anxiety. I didn't even know what that word meant.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was
4 years old.
Listen, you got 4 or 5 year olds that are like, and I definitely think it comes from the parents. Because you know, parents, the minute that you have, my tummy hurts and you're nervous, oh my God, sweetheart, I think you have anxiety.
Yeah, and they're just putting that into their head,
100%. So it is important to tap in, and I think with dance is an art. The spiritual world is also an art. Like, it's good to have that meditation type of, even if, and a lot of dancers, especially a lot of teenagers, they go to therapy, and your therapist will tell you too, like, oh, try to meditate and do this. So I feel like it all ties in together.
Definitely. So how would you describe your style of dance and choreo?
I would, that's a good question. The way I would describe my choreography is I don't feel like to me, it's almost 50-50. There's some people that are obsessed with it, that love it, and they're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And then there's some other people that are like, okay, this is borderline disqualification or what are you doing? I just like to take it there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would say commercial, that's definitely one. It is a bit industry-based commercial, but with technique. So you have people that do a jazz routine, for example, and it's always so authentic to what jazz is, which is very important because you got to know your roots and you have to know your foundation. But then once you have that, it's okay, now let's put some industry into it. Let's put some commercial into it while still keeping the technique. So I do like the old school side of myself, but I love the new school side. So that
mix
together.
them too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so little question. What was your favorite dance that I was in?
Ooh, first of all, okay, my favorite dance that you were in, hands down, we still talk about it in the studio till today, was outrageous.
Really? I gotta put a clip in there.
You do. You gotta insert clip here. Outrageous. And I think it's because that was the year that you started gaining some confidence, because that year you were already talking to me oh my God, for next year I want to do a solo, this and this. I remember watching you in that dance and me being like, why did I not make her lead? And I remember you used to tell you that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and everybody, all the students, all the parents were like, Sanaya, do you see how Sanaya looks in that dance? Maybe because you have such a exotic type of look, and then the song has exotic beats, and the outfit, and then the hair, everything about it. I just remember you always pulling my eye for that routine, and people still talk about it at the studio to this day. They were like, Sanaya and outrageous.
Is that the one you showed me? The little short clip?
That was Control that I showed you, but I gotta show you outrageous.
I gotta see that
Ooh,
one.
Control.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Control too.
Yeah. First, talk about the pros of being a dance teacher, and then we'll talk about the cons, because there is cons too.
Oh,
there's cons to everything.
So one of the great things about being a dance teacher is seeing the kids grow. So I know when you're a regular teacher, you'll have your students, if you're a 5th grade teacher, for example, you have them for the year, then they go off to middle school.
Yeah.
You don't see them again.
Yeah.
So you do create these bonds with these students, and then they looked up to you and stuff like that. So a lot of people, even if you're a kindergarten teacher, maybe you're a kindergarten teacher and you get to see them out through middle school, but they're only in your class for 1 year. Where when you're a dance teacher, you get to see the students from 3, 4, 5, 6 years old all the way till they're 18, and then they leave. So you go through their entire
crazy.
life. Yeah, so that's definitely a pro.
That's And then cons.
Parents.
That's
Parents
real
are the
though.
cons.
That's real, because you got to deal with a lot of parents. That's something that people don't really think about.
Oh my God. I know people said when opening up a studio, they're like, it's going to be hard because the business side, the money, the insurance. I'm like, that's the easy part.
Oh my God.
Guys.
I thought that was going to be the hard part of when you don't know about it. It is hard, but once you get a hang of it, you're like, okay, taxes here, 1099 here, accountant, whatever.
Yeah.
That's easy. I think one of the cons will have to be parents, because you have some parents that are like, why my kid in the back? Why ain't my kid in the front? Or why did that girl get more dances than my kid? Or well, she's definitely your favorite. And it's like,
too much.
and she could tell you, I treat everyone the same. Yes, you do have certain students that you're drawn to, but I treat them all the same, you know?
That's real. Okay, so I want to talk about the fact that like how much goes into the dance competitions. You have to think of dance routines, think of costumes, the props, go to different, apply for different competitions. How do you deal with creative blocks or coming up with new ideas for the next year? Because I know that's something that's
I still struggle with that. I still struggle with that. I have an assistant director. His name is Josh. He gives me a lot of my music. Sometimes I always say the idea needs to find me, but sometimes it doesn't find me, and it's October, November, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So it does take me a while. Like with my seniors, it's harder because that's like the hardest division. They're like senior advanced. Yeah. Everyone is good. Mm-hmm. So every time I'm trying to like think about like a new idea, I don't get that idea till like October, November, and these kids be competing in February. Yeah. And then the season ends by like June or July. Mm-hmm. So it is difficult. Sometimes what I do is judging. When I'm judging, I get to see other routines from like all over. And then certain themes might spark an idea. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what people don't know is like while I'm judging, if there's a song that I really like and I know if I don't know the song and I know I could like rip it, I'm like judging and I'm talking. I'm like, welcome to the stage entry number. And then I'm taking like the little Shazam thing and then I'm clicking to get the song. And I'm like, yes, point that toe. And I'm putting the phone back.
That is funny.
To try to get the songs. So yeah,
That's helpful though.
Yeah. You get inspiration from like other routines, music. Sometimes music alone gives you the inspiration. Once I hear a song that I really like, I'm like, oh yes, and then black hats, black outfit.
I have an idea,
just comes
by the
in
way.
together.
Yeah. I have an idea for you. I'll give it to you after.
Give me lists.
I was walking my dog the other day and I was listening to a song. I was like, I could see this.
I always tell people, shoot, like my sister, now that my niece dances, every year my sister sends me like a list of songs and I'm like, do that all the time. It's so helpful.
It is helpful. Yeah. Okay, so how do you, because you do have a lot, like you do the dance studio, you teach at other studios and you do judging. How do you balance all of that? Like, is that difficult or is there something that just comes naturally now? Like,
it still is difficult, especially this season. Like this season was the most difficult because like I have 5 seniors that are graduating. So there's 5, they go to 5 different schools, 5 different proms, 5 different grad bashes, or 5 different graduation dates. And then I had to fit into that schedule on top of them being like, Miss Karina, you're not allowed to miss competitions this year. It's our senior year. Yeah. Then I got to fit in my judging schedule. And then this is the season that I'm getting married. So it was like fitting in bridal shower, bachelorette, like every single weekend.
A lot.
I have been booked for the past like 5 months. So it is difficult. I honestly, it's more like first come, first serve. Usually my judging dates, they come out in August. So once that comes out, I pick competitions according to those dates because I'm trying not to miss the competitions. Unless it's like a competition I really wanted the kids to go to and I'm not going to be there, then they're going to have to take that L. Yeah. I'm not going to be there, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And then I try to fit in, like the minute someone tells me a day I have a digital planner, I'm like,
perfect.
Boom, boom, boom. So everything is first come, first serve in my planner.
In the slot, like, here, you get this slot.
Literally.
Okay, so you created a beautiful empire of amazing dancers, and I've been seeing a lot of perfect scores lately, so.
I know.
Congrats on that.
Thanks. That's crazy, man.
Oh my God, yes.
What advice would you give to, like, people who want to pursue dance in the future?
To not take no for an answer. That is the biggest thing I've been telling this generation of dancers because there's so much talent, so much more talented than like my past dancers as far as what they can do because they started younger with me, but they're like so unconfident, like really bad, or they doubt themselves. And I said, you can't take no for an answer. When you go to an audition and you're gonna get no's, and sometimes the no's have nothing to do with your talent. Your boobs are too big, you're too tall, you got blue hair and I don't want to book somebody with blue hair. Like sometimes it has nothing to do with the talent. So I always tell them you're gonna find eventually that person that's gonna appreciate your craft and is gonna appreciate your talent. Don't take no for an answer. The same way how you could get 30 doors shut in your face, you could get 30 doors that open up afterwards. So I need to put that in a shirt.
No, literally, I was like very inspirational.
Don't take no for an answer.
Got stamina, but
that was you got me that first shirt, and now we got crew necks that say got stamina on it.
Okay, so what do you want for your studio and your dance career moving forward within the next few years? Where do you see yourself at?
I know it's crazy. I didn't even think about that, but I do see it as I think my goal is just always. Anytime, like the people that come to my studio are like people that are hard workers. Like I've always said, I don't want my studio to be too massive because, quality versus quantity. I'm very big on that. I don't want it to be too massive. Like these studios are like, but hey, the money, and then we have like 200 routines at competition. You could keep that.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
200 hot mess hot mess dances.
Literally.
Didn't have time to clean all 200.
Exactly. So my goal would just be for more students to come into my studio that are like dedicated kids that are willing to that whether they want to pursue it or not, that they work hard, good parents that I don't have to deal with. Definitely one of the goals is that I wanted to move my studio to a warehouse, but I want to stay around the same location. They just, all the warehouse that they do build, they don't take studios. So I'm like waiting. I'm like, the minute
that'd be really nice.
Yeah, and then
videos there too.
Oh,
yeah, that's the only thing I was thinking. The concept videos.
Yes. No, literally, because right now it's like the studio that we were planning to move. Literally right before COVID. Like my lease was up and me and my mom were like, yes, let's look for places, and then everything got shut down.
Yeah.
And then people that are renting, you still have to pay rent. Even though people are not showing up to your studio, you can't host classes. So that would definitely be a goal. And then once I could get a bigger spot, host more
like master
classes, stuff like that. I know I have a lot of adults that say, oh, but I want you to teach me, or I want you to do this, and I'm like, girl, I'm busy.
Literally.
So be able to do that. I wouldn't really want my competition team to get too big. I would bring more like money, revenue and stuff, more based on like master classes and open classes, because I like keeping the competition team, at a certain size.
Okay, I'm excited for Imperial. I'm excited for Imperial in the future.
Yes.
Because I just see big things. Let our viewers know where they could find you on social media.
My studio is at Imperial Dance Company. My social media is at Karina __Cedeño, CEDENO. Because people can't spell that. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate
it was
you.
nice talking to you. I know so much about you from Sanaya.
Yes. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about next. Thank you guys for watching. We are out.
Bye.